Hey everyone, today we're going to have a look at how to play the very lovely guitar solo to The Blue by David Gilmour from his 2006 solo album On an Island. Now, if you know this solo, and I suppose you do, otherwise you probably wouldn't be here, you will know that there is a lot of pitch shifting of notes throughout this solo, very much like his somewhat more famous solo Marooned. David was using a Digitech whammy pedal for this effect on this solo, one of the few effects pedals to achieve this type of modulation of notes. Now, I personally don't have a Digitech whammy pedal. Bloody things are expensive, so I'll simply be teaching you how to play it and maybe point out a few spots in the solo where it's utilized. If you have a Digitech whammy pedal, great. You just have to listen to the recording, the original recording, to hear when he pitches up and when he pitches down an octave. But this will be how to play it. It sounds good either way. My performance of this one is linked down in the description box, and I played it straight without pitch shifting, and I still think it sounds pretty good. But if you really want to nail this one as close to the studio version as possible, you'll definitely need a whammy pedal or something to modulate the pitch up and down an octave. There's simply no other way. Regardless, let's get at this, show you guys and gals at least how to play it. All right, let's have a look at The Blue by David Gilmour, and we are working in the key of E major, and we're soloing mostly here in this relative minor box of D flat, using the D flat natural minor scale. Here at the 9th fret position. Same notes as E major, and at one point in this solo he switches to F major, and I'll point that out when we get to it. We're in the neck position 5 here, neck pickup, and we're in standard tuning. So the start of the solo goes something like this. So we're sliding into 11 of the A string, and then we're catching the 9 of the D and the G. And then on to 11 of the G string, and then a full step bend. Now we're going to bend that 11 again, and then down to 12 of the B string. And then give that a full step bend. So that bend before you jump down to the B string is very quick. Full step, and then raise it another full step. And then back to the natural note. And then we're into this. So that's a full step bend again at 12, and then you're going to jump it up to 14, up to 16 for a little half step bend release, and then back to 12. Just going to backtrack a little bit because there's some pitch shifting going on here, and I just want to point out a couple of the spots. So right from the very beginning, that note there, he presses down on the whammy pedal and raises the pitch 1 full octave before continuing. And then when he continues, it sounds like he's playing way up here, but he's still playing here because the pitch has been raised a full octave. For that part there, it sounds like he's playing up really high, but he's not, because the pedal's taking care of that effect for him. And then, and right there, he lowers the pitch again, bounces it back to 12, and then he's into this. So a little bend at 11, back to the natural note. 9 onto 12 of the B for 3 or 4 hits, and then a little bend, little full step bend release back to 12. And then he jumps back to 8, gives a little half step bend release. So up to that point, he lowers the pitch, raises the pitch here, and then lowers it again there. And then he's into this lovely little lick. So he's sliding into 11 of the A, grabbing 9 of the D, and then 8 of the G, and then back to 9 of the D. Then back to 8 of the G, onto 11 for 3 or 4 hits. 3 hits, actually. And then into this. So we're starting on 9. Little trill between 8 and 9 back to 8. Up to 11 of the D. Back to 8 of the G, then to 9 of the D, and then back to 11 of the A. And then a little hammer on from 9 to 11 of the A, string skip back down to 9 of the G. So that whole lick from here, lower the pitch, and then we're going to grab 11, give it a full step bend. And then when you have it up at that full step bend, you're going to raise it another half step and then release it to the natural note. And then you're going to hit that again and jump it up to 13. And when you get it up to 13, you're going to raise it a half step. And then pick it like 4 or 5 times, raise it another step, and then release to the natural note. Sorry, you're going to release it to the natural note first, and then raise it a step and a half. So up to that point. Two, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then we're into this lovely little phrase. So sliding into 13 of the G, catching the 11 of the B. Back onto 13, slide it into 16. And catch the 14 of the high E. And then back up to 16, slide it into 20 of the G and catch the 19 of the high E. Sorry, missed it. And this is where the song changes keys into F major. For that lick right there. full step bend at 13 of the B string. And then you release that very quickly back to 10. Kill it. And then grab 12 of the high E for a little half step bend release. Up to 13, back to 12 of the G. And then 12 of the G, back to 13 of the B, and then back to 12 for a full step bend. And then we're into this. Sliding into 12 of the D, 10 to 12 of the G, little bend at 12, release back to 10, and then grab 12 again, give it a quick little bend, and kill the note. And now we're getting into the higher registers here, so just going to run through that section there from when it changes keys to F major. And then you're going to grab that 12 again, give it a little bend release off to 10, and then grab 13 of the B and give it a full step bend. And when you have it up there, you're going to pick it one last time, and you're going to make a real quick jump up here to 19 of the high E. For a double hit. So, something like this. Kind of like that. And then you're going to, a lot of play here on the 19s of the G, the B, and the high E. You're going to jump up to the B, give it a little half step bend release. And then you're going to grab the 19 of the G and then string skip back down to the 19 of the high E. And then you're going to jump back up to 19 of the B, give it a little half step bend release again. All in context sounds something like this. Back it up to 18. Hit it, and then back down to 17 for a double hit. And then back it up. You're just kind of backing the notes up here chromatically. And now we're at 17. Little half step bend release, and then back it up to 16 little half step bend release. Let me just play through that little section there. I made a little mistake in there, apologize for that. But so where are we? And then back it up to 16. Half step bend release. Into that there. So we're on 16. That's where we left off. And then you're just going to roll down to the 16 of the high E. Back it up to 14 of the B. And do the exact same thing you just did, but in this position, 2 frets lower. And then you're going to back it up again, 2 more frets. But you're going to finish up 3 frets back at the 9th fret this time. So, from where it switches to F major. into this. 9 onto 12. Full step bend. 2-step bend, and then release back to the natural note. And where are we in the solo? When I slow it down like this, I lose track. Now we're into this now. So he's back up here at the 19th fret. Hits it like 3 or 4 times. Hits it again. Full step bend release back to 19. And then back to 12. For that little lick there. Full step bend to 12. Back to 9. Then on to 11 of the high E. Half step bend. Hit it 3 or 4 times. And then just release it to the natural note at 11. And then we're jumping, and at this point he depresses the whammy again for a really high pitch, because now he is playing up here and he's got the octave raised. So there's no way to even reach that on the guitar. It'd be way up here somewhere. So he's back up here at the 19th fret again, hitting that 3 or 4 times. And then he's backing off to 16, back onto 19. Full step bend release. And then he's going 16, 19, 16, 19, back to 16. Bend 19 and release it back to 16. And then we're into this. That's a big bend. Little bend at 16, half bend. Little half step bend, release it back to 14. Pull it off, don't pick it. And then 14 back to 16, half step bends. So I think you hit it 5 times there while you have that bent a half step, and then release it back to the natural note. And then you got to get it up there a step and a half. And then we're back here at 11 for a little half step bend release with vibrato on the high E. And then we're finishing up the solo. Kind of like that. Sliding into 6 of the D string. 4 to 6 for a couple of hits. Back up to 6 of the D. And then 4 on the D, down to 4 on the G, back to 4 on the D, slide it into 6. And then 2 to 4 on the A string. Slide out of it to the open E. And then back into this D flat minor position here at the 9th fret. And you're going to have your ring finger on 11 of the G and your pinky down here on 12 of the high E. Hit that 2 or 3 times. And then raise the G string, but don't raise the B string. A full step. And that's the end of the solo. So let's take the whole solo at a nice relaxed pace, and then we'll be done. Two, three, four, 1, 2, 3. Went too high. There it is. And my friends, that is how you play The Blue by David Gilmour from his On an Island album. Just a lovely, gorgeous solo, and if you get that whammy pedal working with this one, it's just going to bring it to another level. But it sounds good. You know, you check out my my performance of this one. It sounds good to play it straight as well. So I hope that helped you out, and you guys take care of yourselves. Hope you're well in your little guitar corner of the world, and we will see you next time. Cheers.